To serve great food is to create memories for your customers.
But it takes more than luck.
It takes consistency, creativity, and the drive to see things through.
And every day, the stakes are high, which means it's time to stand up
from your computer and start getting real. To own your kitchen is to own your bottom line.
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world.
And now is the time to foodify your business.
All right, welcome to F Your Business Podcast. So we're on our way over to Altamonte's to do our shopping for our next challenge. We're going to do meatloaf, but I'm not going to do any meatloaf, right? I don't mind the plain meatloaf and all, but I'm going to do mine with a little twist. I love meatloaf. I think everybody loves meatloaf, right? It's great the night of. It's great for leftovers. So, we're going to knock this challenge out of the park. We already picked up the one from the restaurant supply store. Doesn't look that great to me.
I don't think it's going to be very good. I don't know if we're going to want to try that one, but we will, maybe.
Well, we have to, I guess.
Right.
We have to. So, we're over here. We're pulling in the Altamonte's parking lot. We're going to find a nice spot to park in. We're going to go in. We got our shopping list. We're going to do our shopping. We'll see you inside. All right, here we go. The fresh ground chuck right here. This is what we want. Be 2 pounds. This is fresh ground, so we can just grab this. We don't need them to grind this up fresh. That looks great. That 2 pounds looks good. I am getting hungry already. Here goes Scott. Need some eggs here. I think I like these guys.
Extra large?
Yeah, well, I don't do anything small. But I always like to check and make sure that they're not broke. Looks good. Date's good. Yep, date's good. All right, got our eggs. Moving on to some fresh eggs.
Picture is an organic egg kind of guy.
Maybe a little parsley. Scott right here.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice punch that's standing up, looking fresh like that. It's beautiful. Take that.
It's got beauty red pepper.
All right, take that. That's all we need from here. Actually, you know what? I do need. I'm taking one of these because when we make the meatloaf, I want a little hot pepper with it when I eat it. There we go. All right, so I got basil. There's basil. Nice.
That's a nice looking basil.
That's standing up nice. Looks good.
That time of year, I guess.
Yeah, we're getting to that time of year. Yeah, that looks good. Smell that. Nice. All right. Get some garlic. Garlic. I think we still got to get breadcrumbs, and we still got to get the Reggiano Parmesan.
All right. Nice looking meatloaf, though.
All right, so we got the breadcrumbs, nice fresh breadcrumbs. That's what you want to use. You don't want to use that stuff that's prepackaged. That's the day-old bread, 2-day-old bread. All right, so that's what we're on. All right, Pecorino Romano right here. That's what we want. That's going to go great with this. All right. So I think we got everything we need for the meatloaf now.
It's going to be a nice looking meatloaf today.
There you go. All right, we're going to go check out. We'll see you in the kitchen.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to F Your Business Podcast. We're in the kitchen. I don't know. I just got done prepping all my ingredients for meatloaf. I don't know where Chris is. I think he's taking the day off. What are we doing? You starting without me? I just got done doing all the prepping. I got done prepping. Yeah.
I go back to cleaning a knife, and you're taking the credit for my work.
I figured this is my one chance that you already maybe pre-prepped that I could steal the thunder.
I think they would know better. If they've been watching, they would know better.
They would realize.
Well, welcome to the kitchen. We're back. Like you said, we're doing meatloaf. This is not your traditional meatloaf. Going Italian. Okay?
No shock there that we're going Italian with Chef Chris over here.
I could definitely go all the way. I could do a Mexican one, whatever. There's so many different ones we could do. The variety, unbelievable. And again, this could also go down as, as a hard healthy if you go with ground turkey or ground chicken.
Yeah.
Right? So if you wanted to add that to, you may go a heart healthy item, or you could go with what we have here, ground beef. You could go with ground beef and pork, ground beef, pork and veal, whatever you like. I just like it with the beef. So we're going to do beef. We have everything here. In this we have sauteed red bell pepper, onion, and garlic. Obviously we have our cheese. We have a quick marinara that I made. That recipe will be on our website as well for you. Garlic salt, basil, parsley, lightly beaten eggs, breadcrumbs, Worcestershire.
Yeah,
Salt, pepper. That's it. Oven's on, ready to go. We're going to get it all mixed together, and we'll get it on here, and we'll get it in the oven.
I think it's even just doing all fresh ingredients, that not trying to overcomplicate things, but you could easily add different meatloaves to your menu with all the same ingredients,
right,
and then just one different meat base.
Right. You can
if you
change
want,
the meat.
you could have a turkey meatloaf.
Right.
You could have a beef meatloaf.
You can have whatever.
Now, you might have 10 times, but you know, if you had,
right,
maybe you had 2 that you
if
weren't
you had
pushing
2,
someone away.
If you wanted to do a heart healthy, say go over to ground chicken or turkey, but then also have this.
Right.
You know, and then later on we'll get into what else you could do with it, where else it fits in your menu. The breadcrumbs are salt and pepper, so we'll make sure we get the meat with some salt and pepper in there. You don't want to cheat it, you know. It wants to be just as good as every other thing going in. It don't want to be less ready. That looks good. Nice salt and pepper in there. Very basic, right?
Yeah, and I think on some of the, you know, it's like, what, 2 pounds of meat, so.
Right, it's 2 pounds of meat there. But again, you can adjust this to be whatever you want. Like, if you want to, I like making them in 2 pound batches because of the way they cook.
Okay.
Right, it's the way they cook. I also put the Worcestershire into the egg.
Oh, there you go. A little crisp trick for you.
Right, they also do that. So we got our fresh Italian parsley going in. Our basil. Get that all on. That's going to give it a great taste. Get it all mixed around. A little bit of garlic salt. You know, red pepper flakes for this is optional. I don't like to do the red pepper flakes in it. I don't think it should be spicy. If you want it to be spicy, I'll teach you a trick. Pick up some of these, roast them alongside it. As you eat the meatloaf, eat the pepper.
All right.
That's what we're going to do.
I was going to say, can we try that when we have our meatloaf later?
That's what we're going to do. These are our bell peppers, onions, and garlic, already sauteed and cooled.
Nice. You can do different vegetables too on this, right? Because I assume you probably made meatloaf with carrots or different celery before.
This is one Italian one I have.
Okay.
The other Italian one I have, we would take the peppers out and put celery and carrots.
Okay.
So I like that one too, but I just went with this one today. This is the quick marinara again. It's on our website. And then here you go. The egg and the Worcestershire. Get that in there.
All right.
And then we're just going to mix it up. Just like the meatballs, right? Not something we want to
look a little
over-mix.
familiar, right?
Right?
A little familiar when you start having the breadcrumbs to the meat.
Want to fold it. Just fold it from the ends in, that's outside in. You don't want to mix it like a mixer.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen the marinara in the meatloaf before in a recipe. I'm kind of excited to get that a little bit different.
Yeah, it's really good.
Than just like a ketchup or just like a tomato sauce, right? Like a little bit.
But we're going to make a topping for this as well.
Okay.
Okay. But the topping don't go on right away. We'll let it cook for 30 minutes, and then we're going to put the topping on. But we're going to make that when we're done this. So this is starting to come together. Again, it's not mixed, it's just folding, so you're not overworking it. You can start to see it's
yeah, that's right. You can still see all the colors of,
right.
You know, the cilantro and the parsley. I mean, that's the nice part is it's not going to just be that faded sort of color that you see sometimes when you order meatloaf.
And you see how it's not over moist or anything like that. It's holding together nice. That's going to form on here nice.
Okay.
You don't want a sloppy one.
Right.
That's why it's important to follow the recipe. And if you want to make bigger loaves, which I don't recommend you do, make 2 2-pound ones.
Okay.
Side by side on here if you want. You know?
And you're going in right on the parchment. We're not going to go in a mold or anything like that.
We're going to mold it on that. But now we're just going to take this out of here. And we're going to use the parchment paper to mold it. Look, it stays together pretty much on its own.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
But again, you started with 2 pounds. With everything you added into it.
Right. It's a little larger now.
You know. Just like the meatballs. It goes over. So then you just use this. Kind of work it. I'm going to mold it, you know. I like to get it flattened down. I don't want it real high because it's not going to cook right. You want to make sure it cooks right. So you just mold it in like this. Same thing here. And just start trying to get a little bit flat.
Yeah, that's great.
Work it down. Try to keep it the same height all the way through. And this should cook in about an hour. Check that 30
that was
minutes,
pretty. I mean, I know it's easy for me to stay standing next to you, but it looked pretty easy. I mean, I know you did a little prep before.
Yeah, but you saw how long that prep took me.
Right, not overly long.
No.
And like we always talk about, that we're making one loaf, but
Right.
to make 4 loaves wouldn't take that much longer. You're already cutting the ingredients. You're already
It's
doing
already
all
being
this.
cut, and you should have them on your line. Anyway.
Right, most of these ingredients,
Right.
The restaurant probably has in
it.
some capacity. Maybe
Exactly.
we're adding some sort of breadcrumb if you don't have something like that. Maybe you're adding, I don't know, one of the other ingredients, but most of that's pretty standard that you're carrying.
You have all this on the line. You just get it cut up. You know, if you come for 1 or 4, it's basically the same time.
Right.
It doesn't take any longer.
And another prep intensive recipe. We talk about it a lot, but we're adding this to, once it gets to the line, it's an easy, quick out.
Well, yeah, because so once it's done, you're going to take a pan, right? Because you're not going to keep
Right.
it hot. Take a pan, a little marinara, you lay it in there,
Yeah.
you cook it, it goes to the plate. You know, we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is ready to go in. So we're going to, at 30 minutes, we're going to take it out and we're going to glaze it. We're going to make the glaze next. On-site visits play a pivotal role in the success of our clients. Being in the restaurants allow us to observe operations, staff interactions, and customer experience. These insights inform our recommendations. Site visits provide insight into the local culture that cannot be done remotely. These insights guide the development of our tailored solutions. Interviews and assessments during visits yield critical data. These help guide menu changes, workflow improvements, and customer service enhancements. Identifying issues early prevent costly mistakes. Urgent matters can be addressed immediately, ensuring smoother implementation of our process and procedures. So in here we got the quick marinara I made. All right, balsamic vinegar.
Okay.
All right, we're going to add that to it. That cooks down and gets thick as well, so it's going to thicken this up. Brown sugar, light brown sugar I use. I don't use the dark. I use the light. And then we have a tablespoon of tomato paste. That's it. So we're going to mix this
Pretty
up.
simple little sauce.
Doesn't get any easier. You want this to cook for maybe 7-8 minutes, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
But you bring it to a nice boil, then let it simmer. Come take a look. Get it on here. I'm just going to get it on. Just keep it right there. Once that starts bubbling, I'm going to turn it down a little more and stir it frequently because this is going to thicken up. So you make sure you're stirring it so it don't burn. So now we let that come to a bubble. We'll stir it, keep it going, lower it, just let it simmer, just so it thickens up so when you put it on the meatloaf, it sticks, it doesn't run off.
Got it. All right.
All right? So what do you got, Scott? We got a history on this because I
do.
kind of think I know where it originated. If I had to guess, because I've learned something before.
All right.
I don't know if you realize that, but I did learn something before. So I'm going to tell you where it came from.
All right,
And you'll
let's
tell
see.
me if I'm right.
Yeah, and maybe it's one of those items that maybe we don't know exactly. So let's see what you got.
I'll see what you came up with.
All right,
I'm
all
going
right.
to say it came from Germany.
And where do you? Why? What was that? Did you do a little research? Like,
No, it just sticks in my mind. I
At
learned
some
it
point.
somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I learned it somewhere, and it just stuck with me.
Got it. All right. Well, looking into it.
Am I right?
No, but when I was looking into it,
Thanks.
there was that came up as an area, but there is dating back like some of these items that there's not like exact time
Right.
of when the meatloaf came out, but they were talking about like super medieval Europe, 5th century
Really?
of basically throwing scraps of meat and scraps of vegetables together. So it makes sense, right? You have all these scraps, you're trying
Right.
to use it, whether it's meat, eggs, so like fruit, vegetables,
Whatever. Okay.
so you can throw all these scraps all together and came up meatloaf. As you got closer, like Americanized, right?
Right.
We don't really see.
Well, I like
fruit.
our version better.
We don't really see much fruit in a
I don't
meatloaf
want
or
fruit in my meatloaf.
different scraps. So those like late 1800s. Same thing. Like one of the first recipes was like basically throw any cold meat you have and mix it in.
Okay.
So there was kind of one of the things where actually beef was one of the first ones they were using. This recipe had it basically from like in Massachusetts.
Right.
That before the winter they would kill their cattle, right?
Right.
So they were using this meat to get as much out of it.
So we're starting to get a bubble. That's pretty much what we want it to be right there. You know, see, we're getting it. It's going. So now we just want to get it turned down. I bet
Yeah,
this
so
meatloaf.
they were using, all these, using the meat, trying to get as much usage out of it,
Right.
as it, keeping it for the winter. Some obviously you're going to cook into steaks and all other things,
Right.
and then again, using the parts, all the
Nothing
other
goes to waste.
enough to go away.
Nothing
Other pieces
goes
of the
to
cow,
waste.
let's use
Right.
it. The biggest thing that it actually was a breakfast food, not a dinner food to start.
Breakfast
That
food.
was the thing that probably shocked me the most.
And this is where?
This was late 1800s,
And what country?
America.
America.
Here.
We
It
had
was
it for
actually-
breakfast?
Meatloaf was a breakfast item.
I don't know about that.
That's
Yeah.
where it kind of threw me for
No,
a loop too.
yeah,
That I guess you think back though, to the farming sort of, or a lot of things we talk about, very heavy early day because of going into whether it was sort of hard labor.
But you only meal until dinner.
Right.
So,
So
yeah,
I
you're
think
getting
if you
through a
think like
10-hour
that,
day.
you were having a nice hearty meal.
All right, so we're gonna let this continue on. We're gonna let it reduce and thicken up. And at the 30-minute mark, we're gonna pull this out. You wanna take a look at it? See what we got so far?
See how we're looking.
It's only in there about 7
See, you
minutes.
snuck some peppers around it, Chris.
I had to get the
wasn't
peppers,
looking.
and that's lunch. I gotta get the peppers in. But it looks great in there. It's only in there about 6-7 minutes. So once this thickens, that hits the 30-minute mark, we'll just start glazing the top of it.
All right.
And then we'll be pretty much halfway there. All right, so we're at the 30-minute mark, Scott. Looks great, right?
It looks great. I still see a ton of color. It's starting to
Looks
brown
awesome.
super nicely.
Got our peppers. Ooh, all right. Peppers smell good, I'll tell you
They
that.
smell good. I can't wait
Yeah.
to taste the flavor on those.
I'm gonna get the peppers out because they're done. So the glaze, it thickened up nice. Now we're just gonna take it and lay it on top. If you have a brush, use a brush. You have a spoon, use a spoon. You have a spatula like me, use a spatula.
right? Whatever we got.
That's it. There's no rules here. Use whatever you got.
There's no rules in Chris's kitchen.
Nope.
That's
I'm a rule breaker when it comes to the kitchen. I'd like to put it on thick because this is going to thicken up really nice. It's going to stick and have such great flavor. That balsamic that's in there is really. So it's going to go back in the oven. We'll check it in 20 minutes. So it's at the 50-minute mark.
Okay.
Right? I think it might be done by then.
Well, looks like it's cooking, like you
Yeah.
said. You kind of kept it sort of low.
Right.
It's not as thick, so maybe it's going to be closer to that 50 over an hour, but we'll
Right.
see.
Well, we'll see. But it looks good. It's getting there.
Open the oven for you so you can bring it on right in.
All right, here we are.
It took us a little time. We waited and we waited, and I was getting hungrier and hungrier.
It's worth the wait. Look
And
at
it looks worth the wait.
Look at that glaze. Look how it cooked perfectly on it, sticking to it. That's sticky too, because that balsamic makes it sticky.
It was only like 50 total minutes. It
50.
felt like 6 hours because I was just staring at it when it came out
I know,
earlier.
I know.
It looked so good. I wanted to eat it.
Well, so the key thing, let it sit 15 minutes.
Right,
At least. Right? Because it's kind of hard to slice it down.
Yeah.
Right?
So we cooked it, let's recap, right? So we cooked it for 30.
Right.
Glazed it.
Right.
We cooked it for 20 more. Let it sit for 15.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Right. So what you want to get this internal temperature to 160.
Okay.
158, 157, because it's going to continue to cook to 165.
Right.
While it sits for that 15 minutes. Right? You don't want to pull it out 165 and let it go to like 170, 171, 172. It's going to dry it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But this will be perfect timing. Everything works right. It's going to be moist. It's going to be delicious. So let me show you how we're going to plate this. A little marinara on the bottom. You see, we got our Italian long hops on there for me and Scott.
All right. All right.
All right. This plate here is for the guy that don't like spicy food. Vince the cameraman. So right here, we're just going to get a nice slice on this. And we're going to bring it over here. Turn it up like this. Just look inside of that. Look inside of that. Now, if I was doing a portion for a restaurant, there'd be 2 slices.
And I really like that you're using like the marinara on it.
Well, you
I'm
have
not a
to.
ketchup person. So I don't
Right.
like the ketchup on the meatloaf.
Ketchup's the
People like
easy
it.
way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
People do it. I mean, right?
It's traditional. It's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not, And you don't want to cut big, thick slices.
Right.
Don't worry about here. I mean, that's a nice slice.
Yeah, what about what? Inch and a half probably.
about an inch and a
Looks
half.
maybe, maybe
Right.
2.
And then we would lay that there. If we were going to do 2 slices, you lay another one right there.
Yeah.
As I like to finish it, just with a little swipe across the top of the marinara. Now, like I said, this could be heart healthy, go chicken turkey.
Right.
There's another one I like to do.
Okay.
Okay, so what I would have done was instead of molding this, I would have flattened it on parchment. Okay? And I would have laid sausage in there.
Oh.
right? So I would have flattened it. I would have laid roasted sausage in there. I usually use hot sausage.
Okay.
That's what I like. But I recently did it with chorizo as well, and it was really good. You can use the sweet sausage, whatever you want. And then you kind of use the parchment paper and you mold it all back. Now that's going to be a little thicker, so that takes about an hour and a half to cook.
Okay.
Right?
Time.
But when you slice it, you have rolls of sausage in there. I mean, it's amazing. That's another way to go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that your heart healthy version. Then,
That's
right?
definitely not heart healthy. You know what you could do? You could get turkey sausage, chicken sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. They got everything
turkey,
today.
you turkey ground meat, turkey sausage.
Yeah, they got everything today. Yeah.
An interesting take on a meatloaf result, right? Like,
I guess we're going to have to try that.
We're going to try it. I mean, we know the cost. I mean, obviously, a lot of different ingredients go into the meatloaf, but a pretty cost favorable item. And you get into these, I mean, you could be paying $2 a piece for these little pre-made. So,
and look how small it is.
And look how small it is. So let's at least try it out. Kind of worried.
You could tell how overworked the meat is.
Yeah, I mean,
The texture's bad.
it's just a bland
There's no flavor.
meat patty. I mean, I
You
wouldn't
taste
call
that
it
brown gravy a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? But as far as
salty.
it tastes inside the meatloaf, there's
It
absolutely
tastes
nothing.
what you think would come out of the microwave.
Yeah.
No better, no worse.
No better,
It's
no worse.
exactly what I did when you thought, All right, so now we can, save room for this.
Vince, when you're done working the camera, buddy, it's all yours.
We didn't even bring this to the group for a taste test because it really wasn't going to be much of a
We
competition.
didn't want to waste their time.
I really like the marinara sauce. It almost gives me like that meatball
A little bit.
marinara, but then you get so much different flavoring from the meatloaf than a meatball going. All right. I can taste all the ingredients. They're all super evident.
Right.
The meat's delicious. It's not overworked. It's not overcooked.
No. You can see in there the air pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see. I tell you, look, and there's no air pocket. It's mold. It's just
Right.
It's so, and they add water to that as well to add weight and all this, just like they do with frozen meatballs and everything else. But you look, and I like the texture of everything the size that it is. Yeah. So now what you would do, right? This is made, once it cools, you slice it into portions. Okay? Like I say, this is a 2-pound one.
Sure.
Right? But you got, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13 portions. Okay? 13 pieces. So you would have a pan, put a little marinara in a pan. You sit these in it, two to a portion. If that's what you're doing, one time you're doing one. Sit them in a pan, and you heat it right there. Heat it right, and it goes out. Yeah, I mean, it's easy.
Well, I think you've shown that on a lot of these items that we've done and made, that it doesn't take a lot of ingredients to make some of these, items, especially when they're fresh. Especially when the ingredients are fresh, you don't need to cover them up by adding all of these extras to it. We can make a meatball or a meatloaf with just these ingredients. We can make a sauce with these 3 or 4 ingredients. Right. We don't need 18 ingredients in the sauce.
Good food, sir. Right. But it gets overcomplicated when you start 18 ingredients to do this, 20 ingredients to do that. What did I tell you about the ingredients? They start fighting with each other. Right. And the key ingredients don't come through. Every ingredient in this meatloaf is coming through.
Yeah. And there's no fluff. There's no fluff in there, right? They're just good ingredients, and we don't need any extras.
And the quick marinara tastes great. Made that in 15 minutes. That recipe will be on the website as well. Take a look. Easy to do. I mean, it's a home run.
Yeah. I'm telling you, go online, get the ingredients. If you need to, give us a call, see the recipes. If you don't have meatloaf on your menu in some capacity, what a perfect time as we go into fall, winter, football season. It's comfort food, right? Yeah. Get it on your menu, get it out there. Lunch, dinner, sandwich. Here you go.
Check them out. FYourBusinessMovement.com. You'll see all the recipes there. Really, start adding profitable food to your menu. Don't add things just to add them because the guy down the street selling them.
Right.
Don't trust him. He's probably no genius. Right? Trust yourself. Trust us. We know this is going to be beneficial. It's going to add money to your bottom line. But remember, add this to your menu. It could be lunch. It could be an appetizer. It could be a dinner entree. Yeah. Right? Lunch as a sandwich, which I'm actually going to try this week. All right. Since we made this meatloaf, I'm going to take a piece. I'm going to take it home, and I'm going to have it for lunch tomorrow. I have my first meatloaf sandwich.
All right.
All right.
Make two.
Make two? All right, I'll make two. All right.
See you next week.
Add profitable food to your menu.
What is Foodify? Our Foodify method stands behind 5 core fundamentals. Products. Sourcing quality products, fresh when possible, that have the margins that work for your bottom line. Service. Setting non-negotiables for your service that creates a memorable guest experience that is repeatable and scalable. Quality control. Ensuring staff is trained on all elements of quality control, including food safety, consistency, and ensuring everyone is using the 5 senses to monitoring food quality. Leadership. Creating a management team with the skill set needed in today's hospitality world. Accountability. Weekly assessments of your operations focused on bottom line results. And together, we can customize to the individual needs. This Foodify method adds both quality and profitability to everyone's bottom line.